You know what? Race ain't the root. Gender ain't the root. Religion ain't the root. Class ain't the root. Those are the containers, the costumes, the operating channels. The root is the organizing logic underneath them, dominance and supremacy. So when people say it's slavery, that's too contained. Slavery is an expression of dominance and supremacy. When people say it's white supremacy, that's still too contained. White supremacy is the racialized expression of dominance and supremacy. When people say it's patriarchy, well, that's still too contained. Patriarchy is the gendered expression of dominance and supremacy. When people say it's classism, well, that's the economic expression of dominance and supremacy. When people say it's religious control, that is the theological expression of dominance and supremacy. The assignment changes, the construct stays. That's why the conversation keeps looping, because people keep arguing over the category: race, gender, religion, class, politics, black men, black women, white people, parents, children. Yet the category is the con. The category keeps people inside the exchange. The category keeps people fighting over which expression caused the harm, while the underlying architecture keeps operating. That's why white supremacy alone cannot hold the full explanation. White supremacy explains a specific racial arrangement of dominance. It doesn't explain dominance itself. And when you remove the racial label, the structure is still sitting there. Hierarchy, ownership, control, extraction, obedience, ranking, purity, authority, exclusion, dehumanization, existed before modern race, existed before the transatlantic slave trade, existed before America, existed through empire, conquest, caste, class, patriarchy, religion, bloodline, nation, and tribe. So the real move is male-dominant, white supremacist environment. You drop the male, drop white, drop in gender, drop in race. What remains? Dominance and supremacy. That is the construct. And people are struggling to get there because white supremacy gives people a visible target. Racism gives people a visible target. Patriarchy gives people a visible target. Slavery gives people a historical target. Yet dominance and supremacy removes the comfort of one target. Now the question becomes, where am I reproducing the same logic? Where am I organizing through rank? Where am I seeking superiority? Where am I protecting position? Where am I using hierarchy to prove value? Where am I imitating the very structure I claim to oppose? That's why the conversation gets uncomfortable, because when you name the construct, nobody gets to hide behind the category. Black men can't hide behind white supremacy while reproducing male dominance. Black women can't hide behind patriarchy while reproducing superiority logic, avoidance, sloppy language, or unexamined behavior. Religious people can't hide behind righteousness while reproducing obedience structures. Conscious people can't hide behind knowledge while reproducing hierarchy. Political people can't hide behind justice while reproducing imbalance. Parents can't hide behind sacrifice while refusing to examine the environment they helped create. Everybody gets pulled into the examination. That's why the construct is harder to talk about. It implicates the pattern, not just the villain. And that is also why the race, gender, religion conversation becomes cons in themselves. Not because race is fake, not because gender has no consequences, not because religion has no power, not because class doesn't matter. They matter materially. They shape lives. They produce real consequences, yet they also function as mirrors inside the construct. People get trapped reacting to the mirror: race mirror, gender mirror, religion mirror, class mirror, political mirror. Meanwhile, the architecture remains. That's the shift. The point ain't stop talking about race. The point is, don't let race become the ceiling of analysis. The point ain't stop talking about gender. The point is, don't let gender hide the deeper dominance logic underneath. The point ain't stop talking about slavery. The point is, don't mistake one brutal expression of the construct for the origin of the construct itself, because the construct is older than the American plantation. The plantation was a site where dominance and supremacy became organized, racialized, legalized, monetized, and inherited. Yet the plantation didn't invent dominance. It staged it. It intensified it. It trained it. It reproduced it. And now people are still performing the logic without always recognizing the source pattern. That's the larger picture. The problem ain't simply that people are misbehaving. The problem is that people are behaving from inside a framework they have not examined. Lazy logic, sloppy language, performative behavior. Those are the symptoms. The construct underneath is dominance and supremacy.